The village of Hollowbrook slept under a blanket of stars. Every window was dark, every door was bolted shut. No one dared to be awake when the clock chimed 12. For that was when the whispers began. They danced on the wind, rustling through the autumn leaves. 10-year-old Elias huddled beneath his covers, heart pounding. He wasn't afraid, not exactly. He was curious. Every night the whispers tickled his ears, calling out names he didn't recognize. Sometimes they giggled, high and sweet. Other times they sighed like a lonely wind. Tonight Elias decided he wouldn't hide. He pulled on his warmest clothes and wrapped himself in his grandfather's old cloak. The fabric still held the scent of pipe tobacco and wood smoke, a comforting presence against the night air. Elias sat by the window, waiting. As the 12th chime faded, the whispers began. They swirled around his house, a chorus of hushed voices. Elias took a deep breath and crept out of his room, following the sound. The night air was crisp and cold, carrying the scent of damp earth and fallen leaves. The whispers led Elias through the sleeping village, past the darkened houses and the empty well square. With each step the voices grew louder, clearer. He wasn't scared. Elias told himself this with every step, even though his heart thumped like a drum in his chest. These were just voices, he reasoned, and voices couldn't hurt him. The path led him to the edge of the village, towards the old well that stood silent and forgotten. Its stone rim was overgrown with ivy, its bucket and rope long gone. The whispers seemed to gather here, circling the well like fireflies on a summer night. Elias approached cautiously, his hand gripping the worn fabric of his cloak. He peered down into the darkness, but he couldn't see the bottom. The whispers echoed from its depths, a symphony of forgotten voices. "Thomas," a voice whispered, faint and thin as smoke. "Is that you, Martha? Are you there?" Another voice called, laced with longing. Elias realized then that these weren't scary voices, they were lonely. He knelt at the edge of the well, his heart heavy with a strange sadness. "Hello?" he called down, his voice trembling slightly. The whispers ceased abruptly. Then a chorus of gasps echoed from the well. "A boy?" one voice whispered, filled with wonder. "He can hear us. We are not forgotten." Another voice breathed, filled with relief. "He hears us." Elias listened as the voices shared their stories. He learned about the baker, the blacksmith, the schoolteacher, ordinary people who had lived and loved in Hollowbrook long ago. They missed their families, their friends, the simple rhythm of their lives. Most of all, they didn't want to be forgotten. Elias sat at the edge of the well until the first rays of dawn touched the sky. He listened to their stories, committing each name and detail to memory. He promised them that he would tell their stories, that he wouldn't let their memory fade. As the sun rose, the whispers grew quiet, fading away like mist on a sunny morning. "Thank you," a voice whispered, filled with gratitude. "Thank you for remembering us." From that day on, Elias kept his promise. He learned more about the villagers from the well, sharing their stories with anyone who would listen. He planted a small garden next to the well, a place where wildflowers bloomed each spring in a riot of colors. Sometimes, late at night, when the wind was just right, Elias could still hear the whispers, but they weren't lonely anymore. They were filled with peace. And sometimes he could almost swear he heard them whisper, "Thank you, Elias. Thank you for remembering."